and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, we've got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news steer. Our top story for tonight, Universal Destinations and Experiences have confirmed that they are planning to build a theme park in the United Kingdom. And this was completely unexpected, completely just like out of the blue, out of nowhere, and yet it's some of the biggest news in British theme park history. Honestly, this is absolutely mental, and it's going to change British theme parks forever if it does get built. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Universal Destinations and Experiences are obviously the theme park branch of the Universal Studio Pictures company. They own the likes of Universal Studios Orlando, Hollywood, Universal Singapore, Universal Japan, and the most recent one being Universal Beijing. And obviously they own multiple different theme parks, operate multiple different theme parks and attractions around the world. And they are obviously they have quite a large plan in place to expand their lineup and basically just expand their brands to other parts of the world. And currently they are in the process of building, as far as I'm aware, they've got 3 theme parks planned plus some kind of visitor attraction, like year-round horror experience. They've got obviously Universal's Epic Universe, which is going to be the 3rd theme park in the Universal Orlando Resort. Plus they've got a brand new theme park in Texas that's centered directly towards children called Universal Kids Resort. Plus they're opening a year-round Halloween Horror Nights experience in Las Vegas. And the 3rd theme park that they've got planned, which was only just announced earlier this week, but it won't open for a long time yet, is Universal Studios Great Britain. And we were all honestly shocked to hear that Universal were planning to build a theme park in the UK, especially after all these years, when this isn't even the first time Universal planned to build a theme park in the UK. I believe back in the 90s or early 2000s they planned to build a theme park in the UK, and obviously it didn't all go to plan. It literally a lot of just planning issues preventing it all from happening. But now they're back. They plan to build a brand new theme park in Bedford, so literally just 40 miles from London. Not far from Alton Towers actually, or Thorpe Park. Obviously they've said that they're currently looking into the feasibility study of the site as a tourist attraction or theme park. So it'll be a while before it opens yet, but they say that they plan to open it before 2030. And if this whole park does open, then it is going to bring so much competition to the UK, and Merlin are going to have to step up their whole effort of operating theme parks to a whole new level if they want to survive Universal. But when this park hopefully, or if it does open, because they've only just announced it, hopefully they said it will be many months before they make a decision as to whether or not they actually want to build a theme park on the site. But there has been some leaked concept art of the actual theme park. It takes up a 500-acre site in Bedford. The whole park is huge. It's similar size to Alton Towers, so chances are they're willing to build a theme park here. And overall, I cannot wait for Universal Studios Great Britain to hopefully open before the end of the decade. In other news today, the Immelmann and dive loop on Hyperia at Thorpe Park have now both gone vertical. And this ride is just shooting up at a really fast rate, and I'm really excited for it. I'm honestly getting more excited each time I see these construction photos. There's actually becoming a reality, this roller coaster. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Hyperia is a brand new roller coaster opening at Thorpe Park in spring 2024. It is built by German manufacturer Mack Rides. It is one of their hypercoaster models, meaning it can travel over 200 feet. And upon opening, it is going to take the records of the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster. It's going to reach a maximum height of 236 feet. And a maximum speed of over 80 miles an hour. It's going to be insane. You're all riding this whilst just with a little lap bar. If you've ever been on Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and you notice the lap bar, it sort of goes over your shoulder, but it's mainly just on your lap. You pull it down from your shoulder and it goes but there's 2 bars on the side that sort of resemble. And it's like that. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be so much air time and hang time and so many amazing forces on this attraction. And obviously, as part of the whole Thorpe Park rebrand of being the home of feel-good thrills now, as opposed to the Island Like No Other, which it was before, this ride, instead of having like a demonic theme, even though it's like the tallest in the UK, they're giving it a sort of positive, angelic theme, which is very different for a roller coaster of this scale, because like usually they give it like a very scary theme as like if it's the most terrifying thing on the whole planet. But no, they're giving this a very like sort of positive, very holy, sort of angelic theme, and it's really nice to see. And recently, over the last sort of few days, they have obviously continued with the construction of it. They've now started constructing the immelmann and dive loop elements. These two elements of the ride are actually directly next to each other, and they actually cross over, like they overlap each other. The immelmann literally immediately follows after the gigantic 236-foot drop, and the dive loop takes place immediately after the Outer Banks dive, which has already been built. And this ride's going to shoot up really quick. It won't be long now until it goes vertical. And it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for Hyperia to open at Thorpe Park next year. Also in the news today, new theming has been installed in the brand new Wild West area for Drayton Manor. And I just honestly love how much like money is being spent on Drayton Manor at the moment. The Looping Group are doing a really good job at trying to make Drayton Manor their flagship theme park. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Drayton Manor is a theme park located in Staffordshire, England. It's not actually far from Alton Towers. In fact, from what I'm aware of, it is Alton Towers' rival park in terms of competition for like the amusement industry, and because it's literally right near, it's the nearest park to it. Obviously, both parks offer different types of experiences. Alton Towers have attractions aimed like for people of all ages, whether it be young children, or like thrill seekers, like with their different roller coasters, like the Smiler and Oblivion. Drayton Manor, they sort of do, but like they're aiming over the last sort of couple of years, they're aiming to become more family oriented, which I think is pretty nice. They've gotten rid of most of their. They're not doing it like how Lightwater Valley are doing it, where they're basically just making everything child friendly. Obviously they have gotten rid of like maybe a couple of thrill rides over the past couple of years. They've gotten rid of G-Force back in 2019. And Apocalypse, which was a drop tower last year. But they're not like completely just getting rid of all their attractions. They're still safe. I think obviously they are refurbishing existing attractions and adding in brand new attractions, as well as new themed areas and theming, and bringing the whole park up to just a really good like family theme park standard. And I've got a lot of really good plans for next year, especially because next year not only are they refurbishing their Intamin stand-up coaster, Shockwave, turning it into a sit-down coaster, potentially giving it lap bars with a lower height requirement, so families, young people can go on it, making it more accessible for families, even though it's a thrill coaster. But also they're introducing a brand new themed land, themed to the Wild West, which is going to feature a brand new unnamed roller coaster, an Intamin family lift and launch coaster, where it features both a lift hill and a launch from Intamin, as well as they are re-theming or re-adapting 3 attractions in that area. They're adding new theming on the Drunken Barrels attraction, which is like a teacup. I think it's, from what I'm aware, is like similar to like a teacups ride. They're also going to probably do some little refurbishment on the Western Showdown attraction, which is like a shooting dark ride. It's already Western themed, so that's perfect. As well as they're probably going to be completely re-theming the Haunting, which is a Vekoma Madhouse that's similar to Hex on Towers, but it's obviously slightly different. And this whole area looks really nice, and they've been adding some brand new theming in that area, which definitely confirms even further that it's Western themed. And it looks so amazing, and I cannot wait for this brand new area to open next year. And finally in the news today, the 95-degree drop on Iron Menace has now gone vertical at Dorney Park. And honestly, this ride is going to be really good for Dorney Park over in the US. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Dorney Park is a theme park located in Pennsylvania in the United States. It is owned by, well, I say Cedar Fair, but it's actually owned by Six Flags now, technically, because obviously Cedar Fair and Six Flags have merged, but they're keeping the Six Flags name, so it's owned by Six Flags. But obviously, the Cedar Fair side of it, the same company that owns the likes of Cedar Point, King's Dominion, King's Island, and a lot of other theme parks, a lot of really Carowinds as well, a lot of really big theme parks in the UK. Obviously, the way it sort of like has gone the past couple of years, Cedar Fair seem to have invested a lot more in theme parks like Carowinds and Kings Island and Cedar Point, but left other parks like Michigan Adventure, Dorney Park, to just sort of, they've not really done much with it in terms of attractions. Obviously for Dorney Park, that's actually changing next year. Now the weird thing about Dorney Park is, right, the most recent roller coaster to ever get built was Stinger, which is a Vekoma Invertigo roller coaster, which is like an inverted version of their boomerang model, that opened in 2012, but that closed back in 2017. It got demolished, permanently gone. So their current newest operating coaster is Possessed, which is an Intamin impulse coaster that opened back in 2008. But at this current moment in time, they're actually working with Swiss manufacturer B&M to build a brand new mini dive coaster. Well, I say mini, but it's like 160 foot tall, but it's a smaller variation of the dive coaster, at least compared to the massive like 220 foot dive coaster we got over the past couple of years. Obviously it's going to be probably one of the best rides in the park, and it's the first one in a long time, 10 plus years, 12 years by the time it opens. And obviously a common trait has been going on since last year with that started with Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So this ride, instead of having a 90-degree drop down, it'll actually have a 95-degree drop, so it's actually beyond vertical now. And recently, within the last week, the 95-degree drop on Iron Menace has actually gone vertical. So they're building it as we speak. Obviously they topped off the lift hill last week, and now they're building the 95-degree drop, which is absolutely insane. These B&M dive coasters are evolving into Gerstlauer Euroflyers pretty much, because every single Eurofighter ever built has that sort of a beyond vertical drop of some capacity, and that's basically what B&M are doing with their dive coasters. But it's really cool. Obviously it's going to be a really fun dive coaster when it opens next year, and I can't wait for Iron Menace to open. So yeah, that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see in the next video. Bye!